Hello everyone, my name is Cameron and welcome back to your regularly scheduled nonsense. Today we're going to be doing a video that was recommended to me by my buddy Alex. This will actually be, there'll be two videos. This is the first of two, and this is going to be my 10 most favorite platinums of 2023. The other list will be my 10 least favorite. We will be going from my least favorite of the 10 to my most favorite of the 10. And then when we do the least favorite one, it'll be from the favorite of those ones to my least favorite platinum of the year. There's probably some on this that you guys could probably expect, and same with the second list. And then there's some that you guys might not be 100% expecting. But without further ado, let's get in with number 10, Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed. This was my very first PS5 Platinum, and in total, my 100th Platinum overall, which is honestly a huge milestone to hit. So it's kind of why it's on this list. It's why I feel like it goes there. The game itself was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it. But it does hold an edge over the first game for me, where the first game's platinum felt really tedious, especially going for 3 stars on all of the challenges. That was also a platinum I got this year. It does not make either list. I just want to specify Destroy All Humans 1 is not on either of these lists. This one really felt kind of hollow to me. There was a few things that really you couldn't do until the end of the game. There was 1, 2, or 3 collectibles and a mission or two that you couldn't do until you beat the main story, which is fine, but everything else leading up to it just, to me, felt kind of hollow, and they really didn't know what they were doing with this game. And it really doesn't help that it's a remaster of it doesn't help that even as a remaster, it really has that issue and suffers and doesn't get away from the fact that it's a Destroy All Humans sequel. The story and the gameplay aren't as good as Destroy All Humans 1. That's a common theme with Destroy All Humans, is the first one's really good and everything else is just not as good. Every sequel was subpar, and I'm glad that they're remastering the sequels, and at least they've remastered one sequel and potentially will remaster the other ones. But the game itself is just not the best. Trophy-wise, the game gets 10 for being really straightforward. A lot of it is beat this mission, beat this mission, beat this mission. There's maybe 3 missable trophies throughout the entire game, and if the gameplay didn't feel as repetitive and if the characters didn't feel as hollow, it'd probably be higher on this list, especially with it being my 100th platinum. This game itself isn't good, but the platinum experience and this being a milestone trophy for me was really cool. Overall, 6 out of 10. Would recommend, but be prepared for it to be kind of repetitive and a little bit boring and misogynistic, because Crypto is not a good character. Give me a sec, my cat wants in. Alright, on to number 9, Batman Arkham Knight. This being the closeout to the Arkham Saga, it's next, getting the Night Spot, because the gameplay is a lot of fun. I love the story, absolutely love playing as Batman and the other Bat family members, as obviously this one you play as Robin, Nightwing, Batgirl, Catwoman if you want to count her, Red Hood through the DLC. You play as a lot of the Bat family throughout this game. You even get to play as Azrael for a bit, which is really fun. However, platinum-wise, this one's hefty. It's really tedious. It does task you to do everything. You do have to do every side mission. You do have to collect every Riddler trophy. Overall, the trophies themselves aren't that bad. There's a few that will really, really make you reconsider your life choices, though. in going for this platinum and really wanting to decide if you want to continue this or not. I only was missing like 4 trophies for the platinum for the longest time, and went back and got them this year, and these are basically the trophies: A Leap of Faith, Brutality 101, Blunt Force Trauma, and Point of Impact were the only ones I can really think of that I was missing that were super tedious and super difficult. Not as hard as other trophies in the Arkham series, obviously. Arkham Origins is one I'm currently going for, and I will say this right now, has the worst trophies out of the entire series, in my opinion. But, like, yeah, I wasn't missing a whole lot when I went back to go finish this platinum. But overall, as long as you really enjoy the game, I don't think it's going to be that difficult for you to go back and do a lot of these things. If you go look at the trophy descriptions, you'll understand specifically why those trophies were the ones I was missing. Point of Impact, you have to get 5 perfect shots with the Vulcan gun on the drone things, on Arkham Knight's drones, without getting hit, without missing a shot. You need, for Blunt Force Trauma, you need to do every single Predator takedown, which isn't terrible, but going back to it after 7 years, I had no clue which one I was missing, so that was a pain in the ass. Brutality 101 is just doing 15 different combat free flow moves in the same combo, which, considering that Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Origins all have you do basically every single move in a single combo without getting touched, a lot easier. And Leap of Faith is just tedious and annoying for the fact that you really have no way of knowing if you hit the jump properly. It is literally for doing 8 jumps over 100 meters, and you have no clue of knowing if you actually hit 100 meters. Even if you really set a checkpoint, like, it's still kind of difficult to tell if you hit 100 meters or not. You know, like I said, Riddler Trophy is kind of difficult, but in 2015, when I was a teenager just getting this game, it was frustrating for me to get all the Riddler trophies. I mean, I've finished this game like 4 or 5 times all the way through. So I can't say it's that frustrating for me because I'm just somebody who enjoys collectible hunting in general. Overall, I rank it 8 out of 10. I really only recommend it if you like going for collectibles, if you like that dopamine hit of going for them, because the Riddler trophies do get very tedious, very fast, and very, very repetitive. I will say, whatever number ranking I give these, like 6 out of 10, 8 out of 10, whatever, isn't really to say, like, this is how high, this is why it's ranked where it's at. It's more of how difficult I felt the platinum was kind of going for it. Like, Destroy All Humans 2 isn't really difficult, but, like, and not like these are difficult trophies, more of this is how it feels personally from my point of view, how I felt going for it, where it kind of had me feeling what my feelings were as I was going through the platinum journey and stuff like that. Next, on to number 8, we have Batman Arkham City. You can basically take every single thing I said about the last game, minus trophies, minus Riddler collectibles, and apply it to this one. I love playing as Batman. I love the gameplay of these games. The story is even better than Arkham Knight's, in my personal opinion. This is the best story of the entire Arkham franchise, and I will die on that hill, because arguably it's better. It's more compelling, and it's more nuanced, and narratively it flows better than Arkham Knight does. Arkham Knight feels like it pads a lot, and like a lot of the time the Batmobile just kind of happens. It's not really there for a story purpose. It's just kind of, here, Batmobile, have fun. Batman Arkham City narratively flows together really well. Not counting, if you take away Freeze not giving you the cure to have you go fight Nora or find Nora and all that, narratively this game flows really perfectly without really any missteps. That's about the only big one I can find. Like, when you go through this game, it's very point A, point B, point A, point B sort of thing, and then there's like that one spot where it tangents, and that's about it. Trophy-wise, it's mostly easier than Arkham Knight, except for a couple. Perfect Free Flow 2.0 and Flawless Free Flow Fighter 2.0 are arguably two of the worst trophies in the entire franchise. Anything that requires you to do a perfect combo, to do a perfect combo with every single free flow move without getting touched, all that stuff, those always suck. They're in Arkham Asylum, they're in Arkham City, they are in Arkham Origins, I think to some degree in Arkham Origins at least. Arkham Knight has Brutality 101, which is the closest to this. I can't remember having an actual contender for both of these trophies, as these trophies are slightly different. But yeah, I genuinely hate these trophies, and my buddy just finished doing this game, and these were the trophies he was struggling with the most, and I'm like, yeah, that checks out. These games are a nightmare when it comes to those trophies. And if those aren't the ones that break your platinum attempt, the challenge maps, which are arguably some of the hardest in the entire franchise. I think Origins might be slightly harder, but I'm kind of biased because I'm streaming that through PS Plus rather than playing it on a native PS3. So, yeah, they are some of the most tedious and frustrating challenge maps in the entire franchise, in my personal opinion, as somebody who's played through this game way too many times to count. Overall, I would say 7 out of 10. I recommend it, but be prepared that you are going to go through a lot of tedious shit, and to a point where you're going to kind of hate the game a little bit. But yeah, arguably still a great game. Number 7, we have Stray. For those of you who don't know, I have 2 cats. I absolutely love my cats to death, and they are fantastic. So when I finally did play through this game, I knew it would end up on a list like this. Whether it was my 10 favorite platinums I'd go for again, doesn't matter. I knew that this game would end up on a list like this solely because Stray is such a fun game. You get to run around the world as an adorable little kitty cat in a world full of robots. It's such a fun experience, and none of the trophies are really that difficult. I think maybe like 2 or 3 of them are missable. Majority of them you're going to end up getting while you go through the story. Like jumping 100 times, I think, is one of them. You're going to get that through the story. Scratching in every chapter, you'll get that easily by going through the story. It doesn't really require a whole lot of going out of your way to do other things. The collectibles, I think there's a few collectibles, not really that difficult. There's one for doing bringing music sheets to a robot in one of the first areas, which is so much fun and so relaxing, and there's literally a trophy for just sit there for an hour and just relax. And I sat right next to that dude for an hour. That was the last trophy I got in the game, I'm pretty sure, or one of the last ones. Even the speedrun trophy isn't that tough. Now granted, I did it fairly well. I don't remember dying during the speedrun, but I could be wrong. It's been a bit since I've done this game, so as long as you're comfortable with the controls, it's really easily doable, and there isn't a whole lot of situation where you might not hit time properly. Like I said, I got it first try. Overall, 9 out of 10. I highly recommend. It's a very relaxing and very cute game. If you love cats, go for it. It's fantastic. Number 6, we have Unravel. Look, I'm just as shocked as you are that an EA game is on this list, okay? I just want to preface this by saying that. I did not expect this game to make this list either. But with that being said, this game was so much fun up to a point. The first run through is a blast. The game itself, the story is really, really unique, and none of the puzzles are like super difficult. They're not like, how do I get past this? It's fairly easy to tell what you're supposed to be doing through most of the collectibles if you're looking at the overarching area rather than just the tiny spot you're in. Some of the collectibles, the secrets, I think is what they're called in the game, can be a bit tough to go for as they're in kind of difficult areas of each map, but once you kind of realize what you're supposed to do and get them, like, you could die, it doesn't matter. If you get the collectible, it counts. Arguably, it's just a fun, easy time to go for. But the collectibles aren't really like hair pulling out hard. Like they're simple to get. They're not difficult like other games that I've played for collectibles. The make or break on this plat though is 1,000% the no death runs. This makes this list and not the least favorite one solely because you can do these in any order. You can find the map that you're the most comfortable with, go get that one on a no death run. A few times through my main run, I got through without dying on a couple of the levels. So it's not super difficult. It's not like other games where you have to go through from level 1 to the end without dying. You can jump back and forth to whatever levels you want to do, whatever levels you feel most comfortable with, and get to a point where the least comfortable levels you feel on are the last ones you have to go for. And that's kind of how I did it. I went through the easiest levels for me personally, and then went to the harder levels. I think I looked up a guide a couple of times in situations where I couldn't exactly remember what to do. Yeah, all in all, not that bad. Overall, 6 out of 10, recommend, but just know it'll be a little bit tedious, especially no death runs if you're not super comfortable with the game. Number 5, we have Concrete Genie. I fucking loved playing through this game. Very same relaxing feel as Stray. It has a lot of beautiful colors in it, an intriguing atmosphere, engaging and calming gameplay, which is saying something because you're really just kind of moving your controller in different directions. Majority of the trophies are really simple and really just require you to play around with or observe the genies, the drawings you make in the game, doing a specific action or activity. It's really simple, very fun to go through. There's a few collectibles which are really just like getting pages to draw new things. And again, relatively simple to collect. There's a few sort of difficult ones in higher to reach places, but for the most part, you're getting all of these through the areas you're going through in the game anyway. You can easily find them right around the main story areas. Overall, 10 out of 10, recommend very, very highly. And it's a nice bonus if you have VR, as there are a couple trophies for the VR mode for that, for the DLC, which is completely free, by the way. Highly recommend it. Number 4, we have Astro's Playroom. This game, to me, is just so awesome to go through. I'm a huge gamer. Obviously, I've played a lot of games throughout my entire life, from Pong, Atari, PS1, GameCube, N64, NES, SNES, Wii, Switch, PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5, Xbox 360, original Xbox, you name it. And to kind of get to play a game that's through very beautiful gameplay showing you a history of PlayStation was so much fun. And nearly every trophy in this game is literally just go play the main story missions and have fun. There's a couple of gacha trophies which are really simple to get because you earn all the currency in game. It's super collectible, super easy to find and everything like that. It's not like you're super going out of your way like other games to do certain things. And they give you cool figures to go look at in the hub world, which is really fun. You can kind of really take a long tour of PlayStation's history from the PS1 to now. So much fun. There's a few miscellaneous trophies thrown in to really kind of pad out the gameplay a little bit and give you a little bit more to do in the world. One of my favorites personally is picking up a trophy. You pick up like a platinum trophy in the hub world and you get a trophy for that. I think that's one of the last ones I did for the platinum. I could be wrong. Overall though, every trophy hunter should have this. 10 out of 10. Very highly recommended. It's free. It comes preloaded, pre-downloaded when you get a PS5. There is really no reason to not have this platinum if you are a trophy hunter. Fantastic game, and I love it. Next, on to number 3, we have Dying Light. What? Were you expecting more words after I said light? Nah. This was one of the very first games I got for my PS4. I got it for Christmas. Well, I got it as a Black Friday gift the year it came out, I think. Or a little bit. Yeah, so it would have been like late 2015. I've played through it like 3 full times just about. Besides the collectibles, there's really not many difficult trophies to get in this. There's no missable collectibles, but they do glitch out occasionally, so you do kind of have to really be very careful of that. I think I thought I had one glitch out on me, and then I realized I was in like the wrong location of the map. So yeah, there's not a whole lot of difficult trophies in this one. I think like one of the hardest is maybe catching 5 bolters, and even that's not that hard. The most tedious, in my opinion at least, involves getting 3 other people for co-op. You have to do, I think it's 5 co-op missions with a full team of people, which, if you have friends, isn't that difficult. But even with this game being almost 9 years old, it was released in January of 2015. With it being almost 9 years old, there are still people actively playing this game today, and it makes so much sense. I mean, I love this game so damn much, and I got to do the 100% with Alex earlier this year. I did the Bozak Horde DLC with him, which was a blast to do it with somebody who knew what they were doing and somebody who's a lot more comfortable in the game than I was at the time because I hadn't played it in so long. Overall, 6 out of 10, highly recommend. Just make sure you have friends. Granted, I'll say this, any trophy that you're going for, any game you're going for that has co-op is going to be so much more fun if you go through it with friends, as long as the co-op doesn't break the game. Saints Row. But yeah, any game you're going for in co-op is going to be so much more fun if you have a good friend to go through it with you. Arguably, would not enjoy this game nearly as much as I did for the Platinum if I hadn't done it with Alex. Speaking of doing games with Alex, number 2, we have Killing Floor 2. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet. This one is so high as a Platinum solely because of the fact that I played it with my buddy. It's really it's a collectible hunt, like super simple, has a bunch of free DLC where all the trophies are go shoot collectibles on this map or do one tiny secret on a couple of maps. You're just getting a constant dopamine hit playing this game. I trophy hunt for 2 reasons. 1, because I like shiny, and 2, because I want the dopamine. So anytime I go for collectibles, that dopamine hits again, and literally getting 10 collectibles hits me with dopamine to get a trophy, which hits me with dopamine to work towards a platinum trophy, which gives me a fuckload of dopamine. And again, like I said, this is a co-op horde shooter that I played through with Alex. Like, it was such a blast. Overall, 8 out of 10. If you like collectibles and want to just annihilate hordes of undead with friends, like, this is totally worth it. This was such a fun platinum to go for, and was definitely, when I was writing, or when I was coming up with this idea and trying to figure out the games for this list, was definitely what I thought would be number 1. However, it was not. It ended up getting beat out by my most recent platinum, actually. Dishonored Definitive Edition, number 1. Maybe recency bias because I just played through it, or just the fact that this is literally one of my favorite games of all time. I love Dishonored. But genuinely, I think this is definitely my favorite platinum of 2023. Solely for the reason of it's so damn easy to go through. Literally, I forgot just how fun this game is when I was playing through it again, and just getting to see Dunwall again and see all of the world building that Arcane did with this was so insane. None of the trophies are that tedious. Like, genuinely, they don't require grinding to unlock, which is arguably the reason I hate trophies the most, is if they're super tedious or require a bunch of grinding. There's like no real missable trophies in this entire game, like, except for maybe the art collection one, which is super simple to not mess up if, like, you focus very heavily on where they're supposed to be. Like, very easy to go through, and the game is short enough to where 2 runs can easily be completed in a day, netting you literally every trophy in the game. I literally finished a run and a half in a single day to get this platinum. I was about halfway through excuse me, about halfway through my high chaos run, finished that run up, got the miscellaneous trophies I was going for in that playthrough, and then went into my low chaos unseen no kills run, whatever you want to call it, and literally finished that one by the end of the day. 9 chapters that you can pretty much bum rush through completely without a second thought and not have too much difficulty of. Arguably one of the best games Arcane Lion has ever made. Shame about the sequels. As somebody who's played Dishonored 2 on this channel, yeah. As somebody who has Death of the Outsider and hasn't touched it, yeah. Someone who has Deathloop and is currently going through that, yeah. Shame about the sequels. But overall, 10 out of 10. I highly recommend. But if you're going to go for it, I would say don't go in 100% blind. Either find the locations for the paintings, literally go into the PSN Profiles guide and look at what it recommends to batch together. Like I said, I did the entire low chaos run without being seen, with no kills, and taking care of every single target in a different manner than killing them. Quite literally the easiest way to go about it. Just, there's not much really more to be said. This game is fantastic, and I definitely recommend it. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I will see you all very soon for the 10 least favorite games. Hope you've enjoyed. Stay golden. Peace.